Well, hello, guys. Another Sunday, another episode. This is Kim here.
And the Dingo.
And we're here to do another segment of Relationship Matters. And today we have a very interesting topic, isn't it, Mr. Jackson? We're talking about... What's the topic? You go with the topic. You give them the topic.
To put it technically...
Yeah.
How do we stand on standing in the gap between your spouse, your partner, and your family member, and your family or your friends? So how do you navigate? Would you defend your spouse?
So basically, the topic is protecting your spouse from insults from friends and family.
Yeah, would you? would you? Would
yeah,
you?
We need to make this topic less complicated, okay?
Yeah. Standing in the gap.
You call it standing in the gap.
Standing in the gap.
I'm saying protecting your family. Is it wise to protect your family from insults and abuse from family members and friends?
Abuse is different.
Yeah. No, because some people will go that far.
Yeah, okay.
Because remember, abuse is not about physical abuse. There's emotional, there's all sorts of, abuse. So it's not, you don't have to hit me for me to feel it. You can say very unkind words to me all the time, and that's emotionally and mental abuse. Yes, you understand? And there are some people who are unfortunately taking that at the hands of the in-laws. Indeed. You understand? Right. So, Mr. Jackson, you want to kickstart this one? So, what's your view on that? Because
I think you definitely, I think you definitely need to. You can't allow your family and your very close friends who are like family to insult your spouse or your partner. You can't. And the reason why I'm saying that is because from everyone who is looking at everyone else, they have their own way of seeing that person. So the way I see you, I might see you as someone who's very kind and generous and lovely and amazing in every single way. And that's who you are to me. Someone else look at you, and I might have a very good friend, and that friend of mine might now realize for them, since we started this relationship, my time is now limited to spend with the boys. My time is now limited to spend with other family members. And that may foster a bit of envy. It may foster a bit of jealousy. And now that person is going to hold you responsible. So a lot of spouses and partners are becoming the victim of disrespect, becoming the victim of verbal and some of them even physical abuse, because they are looked upon as the one who is taking someone's uncle, someone's brother, someone's sister away.
Or someone's child.
Or someone's child away.
Yeah. Well, that's for me, my view on the matter is, I have chosen my spouse. That's how I'm looking at it. If I have chosen, especially like for me, what I would want my husband to do, in terms of protecting me from insults or abuse, you have chosen me to be your wife. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. And to me, the responsibility of a husband is to protect his wife. Remember, in the household, you are the head. Mm-hmm. You understand? Some might say the wife is the neck because you can't move without her. You understand? Right. She is, biblically speaking, she's your helper. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. Right. So the Bible talks about stuff like that. A man will leave his mother and his father, and he joins his wife, and the two become one. Mm-hmm. You understand? Okay. Right. The point is, you are her protector. You are her shield. You are her everything. You understand? Right. And when it comes to things like insults and emotional abuse from family members, in-laws, mother, father, friend, or whatever it is, I think we need to set very clear boundaries from the beginning, because this is the person that you have chosen. And people need to know, listen, I will not have you speaking disrespectfully to my wife in front of me, behind me, to a friend member. This is my spouse. You understand? Right. You do not have to accept the person that I have chosen. That's your choice. But this is my person. When you go away, I have to make a life with this person. When the doors are shut, it's me and this person. You understand? right? This person has to feel that they are wanted, they are loved, they are supported, especially by family members, and not to feel victimized by, by brothers, by friends, or by mothers, or by in-laws, because at the end of the day, this is the person that you are going to spend the rest of your life with, who's most probably going to become the mother, the father of your children. So I think insults and emotional abuse and disrespect need boundaries from the beginning. And you cannot be, a lot of men have this thing whereby they are mommy's boys. So my mother can speak very ill of my wife and I just stay there and say, well, yeah. And sometimes they do it in front of their, it's like, I am right here and you're speaking disrespectfully to my wife. And the wife is looking at you. Are you going to really allow your mom to speak to me that way? And then you just gonna give me the shoulder and say, what can I?
It's my mother.
It's my mom. What can I do?
But
I think that tells me a lot, because you're not a man. You're still a little boy. Because at the end of the day, you need to stand up and say, listen, I love you, mom, but you will not speak disrespectfully to my wife in front of me, behind me. I think this is a point whereby wife or girlfriend, exactly, take a stand. You remember this movie? I think it's called Think Like a Man. You understand? There was one of them which was like a mother's boy. I think it's the one who was dating. I can't remember her name in the film. But every time they went out on a date, he couldn't go out with her because he had to go to church with his mother. He had to take his mother somewhere. And in the end, I remember the good bit about the film is that there was a point in the movie he had to take a stand and say, no, this is the woman I have chosen. You will not speak unkind of you to her with your friends. You will not disrespect her. You have to take a stand.
You've made a very important point a minute ago, and you said that the two are one, and that's I think, if anything else, if nothing else is remembered from what I say, this is where I stand on this matter as a foundation. I think I take that very, very seriously. The two become one, which means that if they're insulting you, my family members, my close friends, if they insult you, they are insulting me. So what I want to know is that would you insult me? No. Well, you're insulting my wife. My wife is me.
Wow, that is powerful.
That
is very powerful.
That is the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
So if you hurt her, you are hurting me.
Because the two are one.
The two are one. But you see, when
Wow.
you are with someone, when that person is happy, your happiness is guaranteed. Because you tend to reflect emotionally. When you are sad or a bit upset and angry, we love each other, we're in love. We share a home. We share emotions, and this is something for us for relationships.
Yeah.
This is something for our listeners to begin to soak in. Let this be like manure to your hearing today. When you are in a relationship, you're reflecting off each other. When your spouse is happy, when the husband, they say happy wife, happy life, but also happy husband, happy life. If your husband is miserable and grumpy and things are not going well for him, the home could never be a happy home. Likewise, the wife. So you tend to reflect each other in a relationship. This is saying not only about getting insulted. If your wife feels because what that does is she's been insulted by your family members and you are not saying anything to defend or protect her, you are not encouraging her and uplifting her and building her up, what in turn happens? A woman or a man, so everyone would hear what you say, but they will definitely believe what they see you do.
Amen to that.
They'll believe what you do. So anyone could say anything. You could say you love me. You could say I am your whatever you want to say. But when you see your family members coming for me,
your friends.
Are your friends. When your friends are chopping me down, like the Amazon rainforest, and you are just standing there or just sitting there, or you are like, it's a very clear statement. The fact that you will not defend my honor, the fact that you will not stand by me, not protecting my ignorance, not protecting me in foolishness that I'm doing, but the fact that you could let me be insulted and you stand there, it's very clear that I'm watching what you are doing, and it's going to make me feel a certain way. It's going to begin to tell me, should I push my roots further into this relationship, or should I begin to get ready to shut up shop? Because we believe what we hear. We don't believe what we hear. What we hear have an impact on us, but we believe what we see happening.
That is so powerful.
You see?
Yeah. And
so
I think
if I stand up, so
there.
if anyone is coming trying to disrespect you, anyone is being rude to you, anyone is trying to belittle you, break you down, and manipulate you, and I am willing to stand there and look on or speak with a crackly voice, like, or you are going to witness this, and you cannot stand up for me. The fact that that is happening is a very clear and powerful statement that I might be able to ignore, but I could never deny.
Or forget. Because at the end of the day, for me, this is the big... If you could witness your spouse being insulted by a friend or family member, and like you said, you just stood there and you did absolutely nothing, that person is looking at you, and like you said, looking at your actions. And you said something very powerful. The two become one. Right. And I think this is what we have not... A lot of people do not really grasp this idea. The two become one. When the two become one, you say something, it doesn't affect just you, it affects me.
Right.
So if you could stand there and allow it to happen and it doesn't affect you, we are not one. There is something missing in that relationship.
Oh, yes.
You understand? Yeah. We are married on paper, but we are not one.
Nope.
Yeah. Because you are not going to fight for me. As a matter of fact, you're most probably going to say, well, maybe you need to understand, because some men even give their wives, well, you need to understand my mom, that's how she is, that's how she stay, her already, she has a bad temper. So you start making excuses for the other person instead of actually putting the other person straight. So
you are endorsing these people's actions.
Yeah, you're endorsing the action and say, but you know her already. Her mouth is big. She always has an opinion, or you know how they stay. No, you need to put those people in their place and say, you will not speak to my spouse like that. You'll not speak to my boyfriend. You'll not speak to my girlfriend. You'll not speak to my husband or wife like that. There will have to be a level of respect, because when you speak like that, it doesn't just affect her, it affects me. Like you said,
Oh, yeah.
Your wife is unhappy, it affects the entire household. It affects, because you have to shut that door and it's going to be you and your wife in your house. You understand? So you need to know whether you want to make your bed, whether you want to sleep in it, or whether you want to actually encourage nonsense outside to the point whereby you are now sleeping on the sofa because of what so-and-so said outside your house. How stupid and dumb is that? You understand? I am now going to sleep on a couch because I wasn't man enough to stand up to my wife's, you understand, abusers or family friends or whatever it is. Because now there's havoc in my house that I've partaken, that I could have put straight. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but also I wanted to also add, because there is also a situation where some people don't see it like that. What they see is, we are together, and if my family members come at you, you are supposed to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You're supposed to be able to stand up for yourself. You should not be waiting on me to stand up for you. Because if your family members come at me, if they come for me, they'll be very sorry that they do. You see? So sometimes you have to look at it from a 360-degree angle. Because someone might say, no, you have to stand up for yourself. I'm not going to tell my mother to, back away. I'm not going to tell my father to don't speak to you like that. I'm not going to try to defend you. You need to stand up for yourself. Because I would stand up for myself. And they'll be very serious about that.
Yeah, there are some people who will take that view.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people who will take that view.
They will tell you, I'm not going to fall out.
So you need to stand for yourself.
No, but I heard someone say before, they said, listen, how much mothers do you have? I said, only one. How much mother could you ever have? only one. They say, right, you could have 10 wives. You could marry one today, divorce her tomorrow. And you could do that for 10 wives. So don't ever make a scenario of you have to choose between your mother and your wife. Or we're saying it with men, that a woman have to choose between her mother or her father and her husband. Always choose blood. Doesn't matter if you're married or not. This person have children, both of you have children together. They're saying, don't ever not choose blood. Because you could divorce wife could leave you. You could divorce husband could leave you. Your children grow up and they eventually leave you. But your mother, your father, your brother, they'll always be there for you. So, you see, there are some philosophies, there are some theories that has been stacked into certain cultures from the roots, who would tell the children, who would tell you, if your family members do not like your spouse, you're going to have a difficult life, and it's okay, because you can't tell your family members, do not speak to your wife like that. You cannot and you must not defend your wife.
Yeah, I think there are some cultures, unfortunately, who have to go through scenarios like that. I don't think anyone should have to choose between, it's me or your mother, or it's me or your father and stuff, because for me that doesn't make any sense. I personally do not believe in that. You understand? I do not believe in that, because I can't sleep with my mother and my father. Yeah, I can't make a family with my mother and my father. I need my own life. I need my spouse. I need my relationship. I need to start my own family.
Yeah.
You understand? So this thing about, if you can't agree with my mother, that's it. You're out. You understand? Because some people say things like that. You understand? You and my mother have to be good, or you and my sister have to be good. If you can't get on with my sister, it's not gonna work. That's some really nonsense. That's really, really stupid. Because at the end of the day, you and your sister can't have children. This is the person that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and that's why, I go biblically on the fact that, you will leave your mother. The Bible clearly says you will leave your mother. Man will leave his mother and his father, and he and his wife will become one. You understand? And it goes further. It says, let no man put asunder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what does that actually mean? It's not just about adultery and stuff like that. Don't let anybody come between you and your relationship.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't let anyone come in between your relationship. You are now one. You're supposed to protect, at the end of the day, each other. Because especially for me, the husbands, I am taking that. This is my personal feeling on that matter. You are supposed to be the head of my household. You understand? You are supposed to be my protector. You are supposed to be my defender. You understand? And listen, there are some wives who have a big mouth, There are some wives, they cannot be controlled. They look for the problems themselves. But even so, when both your wife and your mother are ferocious, you still have to defend your woman. But when you get in the house, you have to put your woman straight, or you have to put your spouse straight and say, listen, outside there, whatever happened outside there, you need to fix it. We need to fix this. You understand? Because sometimes it is the wife or the husband who's the party crasher, or who starts the problem. Because there are some women like that. You understand? Or you're spending too much time with your mom, or you're always by your sister's house, or you're always with your friends. There are some spouses who actually start the problem, and then they cause the rift in the relationships.
But that's true. But I was about to.
You see?
I was about to make a point.
Yeah.
And this is very serious.
Okay.
But it might sound a bit funny.
Okay.
Also, I was about to say, the problem also is the wife or the husband who's been disrespected. Sometimes they are the one kicking things off.
Yeah, totally.
But you're
agree.
saying that,
Yeah.
you've just said that.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're the one kicking things off.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me to the example I wanted to bring into play,
Mm-hmm.
which I will not go into too much details because I don't have all the details.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you remember this very popular scenario that happened in an elevator in America? Jay-Z, Beyonce, and Beyonce's sister,
Oh,
Solange.
Yeah.
When she almost knocked
Not
Jay-Z.
almost, she did slap him.
She almost knocked him unconscious.
Yeah.
And Beyonce was just in one corner saying, Father God, just give me strength not to get involved as well. Because you could see Beyonce wanted to tear a piece of Jay-Z's anatomy.
And up to now, we don't know the full side of that story because they
Well,
never
we
went
know
public.
enough to know
Yeah.
that Jay-Z messed up. And his wife had enough class to say, wait till we get home. Wait till we get home. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, Jesus.
But the sister couldn't hold
The
it.
sister was like, well,
I'm dealing with this
he
matter
is
now.
your husband. He's not my kin. He's not my blood. So I'm going to take my pound of flesh today,
Now.
right here, right now. And she was ready to take her pound of flesh from his lip.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Right. But let me get back to the point. So that scenario, Solange went for Jay-Z. Beyonce was right there. Beyonce turned her back because she didn't want the blood to get on her. I don't know. But she didn't get involved there. I believe Jay-Z was at fault in that scenario. Solange never had no right to jump and try to rip him up, whatever it is. But you see, Beyonce never did anything. So was Beyonce right not to defend her husband in that scenario? Let's say, for argument's sake, we don't have all the details, but clearly something went down.
Something definitely went down, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't have handled it. You see, at the end of the day, you're talking about celebrities and certain people who
No. I'm just looking at them.
Oh.
I'm just using their names. But I'm just saying these are two people. A husband and a wife is married, and the wife's sister decide. Well, the wife is trying to be classy, trying to take it, and she's like, no.
I think you have to be classy, to be quite honest with you, because if that was me in the elevator, I wouldn't make a scene. I would wait until I get home to deal with the matter.
Right.
You understand? Right. That's me. And I think that's how she handled that situation.
Yeah.
You understand? Because world and country, for me, we all need to have class. You understand?
Yeah.
Right. So whatever you are doing, you need to know how you're going to represent your relationship.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
can't just be one of these women. It's like everybody out there need to know you're fighting. Everybody need to know that you're having a situation. Everybody need to know you and your husband in rural. You understand? As we call it in the Caribbean, we call it, it's a phrase. We have beef. You understand? Right. For me, the classic thing I would have done, I respect this woman because she waited until she got into her house to deal with the matter. You understand? She remained classy all the way through. She never spoke about this matter to the public. You understand? Right. She never addressed the situation, but I'm sure she addressed it in-house. You understand? And I'm sure she addressed her sister involvement at home. You understand?
I think she addressed her sister with a very, very calm voice because
You understand?
she might have gotten a few scratches herself as well. Because I don't get Solange as somebody who holds a punch.
Yes.
I don't get
But
that
I
kind
think
of person.
going back down, keeping the topic on track.
Yeah.
Is that this is very relatable to a lot of people because there are people, relatives, listen, this is my sister, this is my brother, you will not speak to them, or they find out that the husband cheated and they want to take the matter into their hands.
Oh my
You
goodness.
understand?
Yes,
Listen,
yes.
she can't deal with you, but I will deal with you.
Yeah,
You understand? You have to let people deal with their situations on their own.
Yeah.
You understand? That's the whole point. But talking about protecting the wife, I still think we need to always set boundaries. It doesn't matter how the wife is, how the husband is. You will have some respect for my household, for my spouse, for my loved one. This is girlfriend, boyfriend. This is who I have chosen to be with.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of men need to be a man and stand their ground, because it's about being a man as well.
Okay.
Stand your ground and say, listen, this is who I have chosen. Respect who I have chosen. And also put your woman in place when you get home and say, you will not disrespect my mom, my dad, or my friends. You understand?
I understand
So
that.
I think as a man, you need to put both people in place.
But I want to tell you, I want to say something else to you. We've been looking at this from being in the relationship perspective. I want to say something to you now. Me, personally, me, I have sisters, I have daughters. Yeah? Right. And I have my sons and everything like that. But me, looking at a defender of the females.
Yeah.
My daughter has a boyfriend. And her boyfriend decide that he's going to slap my child. Enough said. I literally don't know. Do you understand where I'm coming from? We're talking about keeping family members out of your relationship. So my daughter and her boyfriend have an issue. They have a problem. They have an argument. And young people, their head gets hotter than all the volcanoes in Hawaii. And he decided he's going to slap my child.
Is that in front of you, or your daughter has come to you and informed you that, listen, myself and so had a row and he slapped me?
Okay. So that I don't...
Let's create a scenario.
Okay, let's create a scenario. Yeah. I am told, or I see a video. Okay, I see a video. Something was happening. They were having an argument in public, and then things got out of control, and there was a video circulating, and I saw, and he slapped her. She is now telling me to stay out of it.
And I think you ought to stay out of it. That would be my take on the matter. You ought to stay out of it.
Thank you for your input. Let's leave it at that. Thank you very much for your kind words of wisdom.
Your view on the matter is you want to now burst into that house and you now want to take control of the situation and go and say, listen, don't you put your hands on my daughter and start and take control of that household, because that's a lot of parents do that. But is that right though? Is that right? Is that right? That's the question. Is that right? Because are we allowing people to now because they have to learn from their mistakes. They have to know what is wrong or right. You understand?
Okay, but let's just say he this has happened 2-3 times. And then my daughter is still saying to me, Daddy, I'll handle it. I'll take care of it myself. Please keep out. Hold on. I'm just telling you right now at this current moment, our listeners don't know, just presenting this scenario, I'm breathing very heavy. I'm doing my daddy breathing right now.
Maybe abuse on any level is not right. You understand? And I think at the end of the day, one of the things we want to teach our children from the onset, from the early stages, and I hope they actually get in that lesson, is abuse is never right on any level. No one should ever have to put their hands on anyone. And if your relationship starts off with just an argument and somebody lays hands on you, man or woman, get out. Get out. Because at the end of the day, it will happen again. You understand? Yeah, it will happen again. Get out. So for me, abuse is not tolerated on any scale whatsoever. I'm supposed to be able to train my child enough to understand that. They need to understand that you can't stay. You need to be secure in yourself enough. You understand? To not be so, because I like him so much, and and now you're suffering from all these self-esteem issues and self-love or whatever it is. So now you're gonna take the beating from a man because you want to stay with a man. I don't want to raise my children like that. And I think at the end of the day, that would really bother me as a parent to know that my child is being abused, because there are some people what can you do?
But your advice to me is I have to keep out.
Yeah, because they have to deal with that situation. But I'm saying we need to raise our children.
But I still have to live with that. So then the point, I'm sorry to cut you, but then the point I'm making in this scenario, because I'm making it very personal and realistic to something that can happen, and showing how from now in this case, I would be the family member who's getting involved in somebody else's relationship. And in that scenario, this man busting my daughter, beating my child, beating my daughter. I don't believe that I can still be respectful and like, hello, Jacob. How are you today? And be nice and wonderful to Jacob and John and Philip.
Listen,
I'm just saying, I wouldn't be able to hold a straight face with a guy.
I wouldn't be able to hold a straight face.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be able to do that. So I think
it's a problem for me.
That's why I'm saying abuse is not right on any level. You understand? Abuse is not tolerated on any level. And if I find because that can happen to, I'm a mother of boys. You understand? Right? If my son come to me, because at the end of the day, it's just not women who get abused. Men get abused as well. There's a lot of men who are going through a lot of emotional and physical abuse from their women. You understand? So if my child come to me and say, I see a scratch on his face or a bite on his face and whatever it is, and he tells me, well, me and my girl, we were fighting gaslighting, whatever it is, it's going to be hard for me to stay out of that nonsense. I will give you a warning. That doesn't, because we're talking about disrespect. You understand? Just so we are very clear. We're talking about family members disrespect. In that case, I'm not disrespecting you. In that case, I'm giving you a warning. There's a difference in that. I'm not disrespecting you. I am telling you. I am now warning you that this is my child.
Fair enough.
You lay a finger on my child again.
On my 25-year-old son.
On my 25 or my 30-year-old son again.
Yes.
We will not be having another conversation.
That's a grown adult. That's a grown man.
I'm still being respectful.
You're still being respectful.
I'm still being respectful.
So how much warnings do you think you might have? One warning.
One warning is enough.
And then
put your hands on my child again.
And then
baby, God help us. Then God help us.
I understand.
Yeah,
so when you're saying
God help us.
Technically,
God help us.
If she,
God help me.
No, if she breach the warning, you'll take her to church.
It's only one. When it comes to scenarios like that, you only get one warning.
You see how this is different now?
Yeah, one. How is it different?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying. It's not different. Don't try to come with that.
No, I'm saying is you are speaking about getting involved in somebody else's relationship.
Any abuse on any scale. Is not accepted.
I understand.
And when we
that.
are now going to speak to the other person about abuse, we are not insulting and we are not being disrespectful. But we are giving them a warning.
I understand that, but if they're not receptive towards you,
they only get the one warning.
You give them a warning, but they are not receptive towards you.
Then the consequences, God, like you said, God help us. One warning. My child will not get another black eye. My child will not get another scratch. My child will not get you get the one warning.
You get okay.
I'm telling you straight.
Right.
You get the one warning.
Fair
and
enough.
I'm not being disrespectful with the warning. I'm telling you in the most polite manner, over a cup of tea and coffee. And I will tell you very nicely and politely, this is the last time you're going to put your hands on my child.
What I'm saying is that person is now...
While I'm sipping on my tea, that's the last time
that you
will be touching or putting your hands on my child.
That person is not being receptive.
They get one warning.
But I'm just saying, they say to you, listen, stay out of my business.
Oh, this is my business. Because you didn't birth this individual, I did.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how old they are.
No, and then your child tell you, Mommy, stay out of my business.
Oh, good. And then when you get the second black eye, or you come to me and tell me you get the second black eye? No,
they didn't even tell you about this body first black eye. You saw it and you inquired.
Baby, listen, you're making life very difficult for me.
I'm just saying because we have to.
Now you're going into all different.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're
talking about insults, protecting our spouses from abuse,
standing in the gap. How do you get
insults.
between? You stand in between and defend. You defend your partner's honor. Defend your partner. Right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is not that cut and dry. It's not that straightforward. But the point I think that you're making, which I take completely, abuse on any level is not acceptable.
Oh, yeah, not acceptable. You get one warning from me. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, we also have to look at what our spouses are doing. What's happening with our spouses as well. Mm-hmm. Because you addressed that. Yeah. You said, listen, behind closed doors, we're going to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. You made it very clear. Mm-hmm. And I like the way you put it.
Yes.
You put that. You will speak to the person who is being disrespectful, and you also speak to your spouse and say, well, listen, you didn't really handle that well, or I didn't appreciate. Yes. So you played a part in that scenario. Yes. You see? But I also want to go back to where we came from around the first 5 minutes of the conversation, where the two are one. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to insult one, you're insulting the other indirectly. And we reflect the emotional state of each other. When you are happy, I'm happy. If you are sad and down, if you are depressed and sad, it breaks my spirit as well. Yeah. If you are angry, whatever emotions I have, it goes on hold until your emotional state is complete. Yeah. So we have to look at how the emotional and the mental state of one person in the relationship will mirror that of the other. So you always look at, if I can't allow my partner to be abused by family members or friends. And also, it is a very useful and a really good way of understanding how to get through difficulties as a couple.
I totally agree with that.
And
I may I just say something based on what we were just speaking about, because I think in reference to the outsider wanting to get involved, like the scenarios that you were putting through earlier on, as the outsider, I think we need to know that when it comes to certain situations, as an outsider, you will have to step in and get involved, especially in cases of abuse. You understand? Because there have been too many situations whereby you allow the people to get on with their life, which is really what you're supposed to be doing, you know? But when it comes to physical and emotional abuse, and you know that your child is very unhappy in a certain place at the hands of somebody else, I think there are limits to, there must be some leeway in your involvement. Because sometimes that person may not have the mental capacity to protect themselves, because they're saying to you, "Mommy, I don't want to get you involved," or "Dad, I don't want you to get involved, because you getting involved, I get more at home." Because at the end of the day, this is what happens in the real world. You understand? If my husband if I'm being abused by a man, and every time I tell my parent and they threaten him, he come home and beat me more. You understand? The problem is the next day, what you're going to find? You're going to find your child dead on the floor. You understand? Right. So I think in certain situations like that, because we know there are histories when it comes to abuse must never be taken lightly. If I know my child is being abused, as an outsider, I have to step in. Like I said, I give you one warning. You understand? Yeah. Because I think it would be very painful for any mother, any father, any friend to sit back and watch their friend being abused by somebody else, and they cannot do anything about it.
It's very difficult.
You understand?
But I like when you are responding, and I did acknowledge and accept that in all that you are saying, despite the difficulty and the sensitivity of the situation that we might be put in as parents, if our children are end up in that scenario, we will deal with the matter respectfully.
That's why I said I will have a conversation with you over tea and coffee, because I will let you know this is my first warning. You understand? Right. I do not agree with what you are doing to my child. I do not agree what's going on. I don't know. I will let them know, listen, I do not understand what's happening in your house, but you see, this person is my flesh and blood. You understand? Yes. I have handed you my child. You understand? Yes. When you guys became one, I have willingly handed you over my child. That's why the dad walks the child down the aisle and hands over the child to their husband. I have handed my child over to you so you can protect my child. You are not going to bring my child in a body bag under no circumstance, because I don't even know how far I will go. That's why I'm saying I'm giving you one warning. You understand? Yep, in the same manner that I give you my child, I expect you to maintain my child that way, or even better. You understand?
Of course.
I will not be one of those parents who will sit back and allow you to continue to abuse my child. But I think we need to have that one respectful conversation. You understand?
Fair enough.
Yeah. One respectful conversation. After that, it happens again. Like I said, God help us both. You might as well just dig a grave for both me and you. You understand? Yeah. So I think a lot of people will take that stand. When it comes to their children, they don't mess about. You know what I mean? When it comes to their kids, they don't mess about. But politely saying, I think we need to respect and put boundaries in place when it comes to things like that.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Jackson, we're going to end on this one. This is a juicy topic, isn't it?
Indeed. Thank you so much. I bid everyone a wonderful week. Thank you so much for tuning in and for listening.
Oh, God.
And as always,
respect each other. I think that's what we say. And we close in with respect.
Indeed.
Try to handle every situation as calm and as respectably as you can.
Indeed.
Amen. Have a blessed Sunday.
Have a blessed week. Take care.